And here he is, Julio Cesar Chavez, who will enter this arena in the somewhat unusual role as the challenger, not defending a title. So odd to see him walking into the ring first, waiting for the champion to arrive. The last time this happened, May of '89 against Roger Mayweather. At 87-0, Chavez says his goals now are to win the welterweight title and, of course, to remain undefeated.
De la guitarra al despertar la mañana quiere cantar su alegría a mi tierra mexicana. Yo le canto a sus volcanes, a sus praderas y flores que son como talismanes del amor de mis amores. México lindo y querido, si muero lejos de ti, que digan que estoy dormido y que me traigan aquí.
Now that is an entrance. Julio Cesar Chavez, quite cognizant of the fact that he carries the hopes of his adoring public, that he represents all of Mexico when he steps in the ring. But he says he's fighting for himself. At times he does think of Mexico and his 3 kids. The expectations and pressures have to be immense. But he tries to relax and concentrate on the business at hand. And here is the champion. Listen to the crowd reaction. Colonel Sweet Pea Whitaker out of Norfolk, Virginia, like his counterpart, 5 world titles in 3 different weight divisions. Tonight, his first defense of a title he won back in March with a unanimous decision over James Buddy McGirt. Whitaker, no stranger to fighting on enemy turf, having to contend with the New Yorker McGirt at Madison Square Garden. And tonight, against the Mexican Chavez and his legion of followers here in Texas, this could be the supreme challenge. can see some support there, the flag waving for Whitaker, but as expected, this heavily pro-Chavez crowd not exactly laying out the welcome mat for Pernell Whitaker, valedictorian of perhaps the most talented class in U.S. Olympic boxing history, the class of '84. His stunning gold medal winning performance is springboard to a brilliant pro career. But tonight's fight could elevate this man to legendary status. It's Pernell Whitaker's defining moment. A victory over Chavez added to his impressive list of Olympic gold and other world titles, and Pernell Sweet Pea Whitaker can truly say, "I've done it all." Let's check the numerical breakdown of the tail of the tape. It's pretty close on paper. Chavez at 31, who incidentally now approaching a 3-1 favorite according to our latest odds from Caesars Palace in Las Vegas. So he's picking up some steam. He's 2 years older than Whitaker. A 2-inch height advantage for Chavez. Chavez coming in at 142, up in weight, but not that much. Whitaker at 145, and nearly a 1-inch reach advantage for Whitaker. WBC rules for the fight. 10-point must system. 3 judges will score it. No standing 8 count. No 3 knockdown rule. Only the referee can stop the fight, and a fighter cannot be saved by the bell except in the last round. So here at the Alamo Dome in San Antonio, Texas, set for the WBC Welterweight Championship, and more than that, the bout to determine the public's perception of the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world today. Time now for the pre-fight ceremonies. Our ring announcer, Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, before this our featured bout, we ask you to rise for the singing of the national anthems. First, on behalf of the challenger and in honor of Mexican Independence Day, we present the national anthem of Mexico. Join me in welcoming to the microphone the talented singer and performer Arturo Vargas.
Mexicanos al grito de guerra, el acero aprestad y el bridón, y retiemble su centro la tierra al sonoro rugir del cañón, y retiemble su centro la tierra al sonoro rugir del cañón. Ciño patria, tú si eres de oliva, de la paz del arcángel divino, si en el cielo tu eterno destino por el dedo de Dios se escribió, hacia osar un extraño enemigo profanar con sus plantas tu suelo. Pienso, patria querida, que el cielo un soldado en cada hijo te dio, un soldado en cada hijo te dio. Mexicanos al grito de guerra, el acero aprestad y el bridón, y retiemble en su centro la tierra al sonoro rugir del cañón, y retiemble en su centro la tierra al sonoro rugir del cañón.
Muchas gracias a Arturo Vargas. Remain standing, ladies and gentlemen, for the national anthem of the United States. Please welcome to the microphone the young, singing, sensational, the talented Michael Angelo.
Oh, sing, can you sing by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight last gleaming, whose rich stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watch, where so gallantly
Thank you very much to Michael Angelo. Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you to the Alamo Dome in beautiful San Antonio, Texas for the fight. The main event of the evening is brought to you by Don King Productions in association with Main Events Monitor, along with King Vision and SCT Pay-Per-View, as sponsored by the San Antonio Express News and La Cerveza Más Fina Corona Beer. Y a todos nuestros amigos latinos, bienvenidos aficionados al box a la pelea principal de la noche. Ladies and gentlemen, I've just been informed that the projected attendance is over 63,000, which breaks the all-time attendance record for an indoor fight set 15 years ago when Muhammad Ali fought with Leon Spinks. Congratulations, San Antonio. Congratulations to the promotional team. Ladies and gentlemen, this bout is sanctioned by the World Boxing Council, which is celebrating its 30-year anniversary. The president, Jose Sulaiman, the supervisor, Ruben Martinez, along with the Texas Department of Licensing and Regulation, the executive director, Jack Garrison, coordinator, Rick Valdez, commissioner, Arlen Spider Bynum. Physicians at ringside, Dr. Paul Saenz, Dr. Ruben Penorio, Dr. Geraldo Zavala. Timekeepers at the bell, also keeping count of the knockdowns, Bill Gavin and James Gaffney. Introducing the judges at ringside, Franz Marti, Mickey Van, and Jack Woodruff. All right, fans, here we go. The fight you've all been waiting for, the showdown to determine boxing's pound-for-pound greatest. Ladies and gentlemen in attendance and sports fans joining us around the world, it's showtime! The WBC Welterweight Championship of the World, scheduled for 12 rounds of boxing. Introducing the referee in charge of this bout, working in this, his 59th world title bout, Joe Cortez. Introducing to you first the challenger on my right, fighting out of the red corner. He enters the ring wearing blue trunks with white trim, fighting out of and representing Culiacan, Sinaloa, Mexico. He weighed in at a ready 142 pounds. His tremendous record represents the longest undefeated streak in boxing today, with 87 wins, no losses, an impressive 75 wins coming by way of knockout. He is a 5-time world champion in 3 weight divisions. Please welcome one of boxing's pound-for-pound greatest, the current WBC super lightweight champion of the world. Demos la bienvenida al gran campeón mexicano, introducing Julio César Chavez. And his opponent across the ring is the defending champion, fighting out of the blue corner, entering the ring wearing blue trunks with red trim. He is fighting out of Norfolk, Virginia, with a weight of 145 pounds. His outstanding record includes 32 wins, only 1 defeat, with 15 wins coming by way of knockout. As a 1984 Olympic gold medalist and a 5-time world champion in 3 weight divisions, he is one of boxing's greatest champions. Please welcome the defending WBC welterweight champion of the world, the sensational Pernell Sweet Pea Whitaker. Once again, referee in charge, Joe Cortez.
All right, gentlemen, we went over the rules in the dressing room. I won a good, clean fight. Obey my commands at all times. Shake hands. Good luck to both of you.
So, as we begin this long-awaited showdown, the biggest bone of contention, the judges. Here we go. Round one scheduled for 12 for Pernell Whitaker's WBC Welterweight Championship. Julio Cesar Chavez and Pernell Sweet Pea Whitaker. Chavez can't threaten to pull out unless all three judges were from neutral country. Then Whitaker's people said if there's any change in the judges, they'd go home. But then Don King and Dan Duba, the promoters, agreed to work it out. But we still do have a judge from Texas, Jack Woodruff.
I'll tell you what, Steve, I have bigger butterflies now than when I'm fighting. This is just, the anticipation is great. You can feel it in the air.
You can see that Julio Cesar Chavez is going for blockbusters to begin with, and he's not going for any of the jive, because Whitaker has boxed beautifully up to now, just feinting, throwing his little jab. But when he changes up and tries to change from one hand to the other, from left hand to right hand, Julio just put in 2 bombs.
He's starting quicker than he normally does, which is something I thought he might want to do to eventually take the legs away from Whitaker. And he's looking for the body shots, and he is looking for big shots.
Whitaker going in with Chavez. By this point, the strategies are no big secret, but this fight could boil down to which fighter can impose his will on the other. If one fighter fights the other's fight, that could be a mistake.
I don't think I've ever seen Chavez this wound up, because he's abandoning what was going to get him here, all body attack. He's going to the head and the body. He's going to finish this fight. I've never seen him this wound up.
And yet still the ultimate sportsman, an accidental low blow, they touch gloves. Still a lot of respect in that ring, and you're right, I've never seen him more emotional.
I mean, he usually passes his first round just chasing the guy around, landing a few body shots. This guy is out to end this as soon as he can. Chavez is.
He's more emotional here tonight before 63,000 plus in San Antonio than he was before over 130,000 in Mexico City last February against Greg Haugen.
It depends on your contrary, on your opponent.
Yes, sir. And that opponent is Pernell Whitaker, who's doing those deep knee squats now.
He just can't get rid of that clowning, and it's a jive that works for him, though. It's worked for Whitaker, so you can't criticize him for it.
Chavez is concentrating on the body, and right now Pernell's moving so quickly that there's times where he's actually got his right foot in front of him, where he almost appears as if he's a southpaw, but he is fighting almost exclusively to the body right now. He's zeroing in on the body. He wants to kill those legs so that the body and the head will die later.
Well, up to now, Pernell has not put anything in hard to keep Chavez off or made him think so. What we're having here is what we thought we were going to have, a track meet up to right now.
Whitaker hoping the awkward southpaw style that he presents will frustrate Julio Cesar Chavez and pose difficulty for him as we head for the bell in the opening round.
And take a look at that right hand that Chavez landed. This is the kind of stuff that's going to make Whitaker think a little bit, maybe speed up his pace a little bit, because you don't take too many of those from Chavez.
Yeah, he put most of his work on the body during the first round. He's going to eventually come up top, and it's going to take a lot of energy and a lot of movement on Pernell Whitaker's part to keep him off.
Well, Chavez said, he told me at lunch today, we ate for 1 hour, and he said, I'm not going to go to the body at all. I mean, I'm not going to go to the head at all. I'm just going to the body. But he just can't wait for that bell to ring. I've never seen a guy this up as Chavez is this time. Whitaker's got to put something on him to stop him from being this wild.
Round two. Chavez, who generally starts out in deliberate fashion, has not waited as long to start unloading recently in his last few fights. He snapped Whitaker's head back there as Joe Cortez breaks him up.
And Joe Cortez is saying, stop the infighting when I'm trying to break you up, because he is so anxious as Chavez that he keeps punching even though the referee's trying to break him up. He wants to put some hurt on this guy.
He gives you the impression of some legitimate bad blood.
Yeah, like you really want to put something on this guy. Let's get this over with.
Whitaker able to scramble away.
Nice
Sneaky right hand.
Another one.
Now Whitaker going to the body, but also to the arms, doing no damage to Chavez. There's a right hand to the top of the head of Whitaker.
Whitaker doesn't seem to be punching that hard, whereas Chavez looks like he's punching with everything he's got.
Pretty good right hand there by Chavez.
But will Chavez, in his haste, make the ultimate mistake of maybe overthrowing each punch and getting himself a little tired later on? If he doesn't, Pee-wee's in for a long night. But if he does, he himself could be frustrated in the later rounds.
Nice shot by Pee-wee.
By Pernell Whitaker.
Maybe the first good clean shot that he's hit him with.
Now the jab by Pernell Whitaker, trying to set up the left.
Again, remember, we have judges from foreign countries. Oh, good action.
As they trade punches.
And both body shots. Both trading body shots.
But that could bode well more for Chavez. But Chavez just walked into a sturdy left by Whitaker.
I'll tell you, though, on the way in, he caught Whitaker, too. I think both of them a little off balance, falling into each other. The aggressiveness is unbelievable at this early stage.
And both guys are being warned about hitting on the break. They're fighting all the way through where the referee tells them to break.
Chavez looking to bore in and snap Whitaker's head. Whitaker, though, coming back.
See, Chavez knows he can depend on his chin. He doesn't feel Whitaker can hurt him, especially if he's going backwards and taking his power away, and he is just going to keep on coming.
And I charge the audience to keep watching the body shots, because that's all Chavez talked about. The body shots, no matter what happens, the body shots. And he has lived up to his promise. Again, the punching through the...
There are going to be points taken away in this fight. Eventually, they're hitting on the break because it's now happening that Whitaker's doing it.
Pernell Whitaker mixing it up much more than anybody expected.
He's got to do something to keep him off. If not, he'll eat him up. Chavez will eat Pee-wee up unless Pee-wee puts some hurt on him, and he's punching away now. Another good shot.
Round 2 in the books.
Tremendous round.
Cuando respondes el derechazo, pero combina inmediatamente con el gancho izquierdo luego. Ya ahora la lleva ahí abajo, tienes que combinarle. Tienes que meter esa izquierda, métetelo en la cabeza, arriba, que el gancho izquierda arriba que lo pones en el suelo.
Let's go. I charge you, keep looking at this body punching. Watch the devastation as it's going to start them out of. That's in the kidneys and one under in the liver. And back comes Whitaker with a good body shot of himself. And here's what he's been warned for twice. Whitaker has been warned for, although Cortez has been warning him, but Chavez is just as guilty.
Well, see here, you'll find a little last shot. Just let me give it to you. I know, take this with you, just as they break up.
Round 3. When Whitaker first stepped into the ring for the first time as a pro, Chavez was already 44-0 with 1 world title. Just putting things in perspective.
Real low blow. Chavez landed a real low blow, but it didn't have the force. Another low blow, but to the butt.
Chavez now stalking Whitaker, but Whitaker holding his ground and coming right back, flicking that jab.
See, what Whitaker does that is effective is he steps around and then fires back. He doesn't just run and vacate the premises, as Camacho did quite often. He'll step around and fire back, and that's where he can be effective.
Now, he's being effective. It's just not effective enough to keep him off and to win these rounds. It's not as if he's being overwhelmed at all. He's in his fight the whole way.
Whitaker with the jab, effective.
So far, his most effective round, finding him with the jab and his combinations.
So far, this is the first time he has been the aggressor. Even though he's not going forward, he's punching more than Chavez is.
Something that we and the people at home might want to look at, something that Muhammad Ali was a master at. Hit you with the jab on the way in and grab you and hold on. And this is something Whitaker looks like he may be doing. See it? Hit and hold on. If Chavez can't break loose from that, could be a long night and a frustrating one.
Well, he's reaching Chavez, but that's no mystery. A lot of people have reached him. He takes an awfully good shot.
Chavez continues to chase Pernell Whitaker, keeping his distance. But as he backs up, landing, Pernell Whitaker looking impressive. There's a sharp right by Whitaker that connected.
Takes a tremendous amount of energy to move like that backwards all night long and still be effective. We'll see when round 7, 8, 10 come around what happens.
Stamina could be a key. When will Pernell Whitaker get to conserve some energy?
My guess is never.
No, not this night. A nice thumping body shot by Chavez again. You can hear it all the way through here. Well, Whitaker having a good round here. This is the kind of round he's got to get if he's going to stay in this fight. Nice. See, he's not punching hard, but he is landing, and those are points.
Certainly his best round so far. Good bite, right hand to the body as well.
Whitaker now going to the shoulder attack. Approaching 20 seconds remaining, round 3. Terrific round for Pernell Whitaker.
Something else Pernell does is roll with the punch as well, so it minimizes the shots. A good right hook.
Good right hand by Whitaker.
No question about it. This is a good round for Whitaker. He finally has started to fight back.
Every chance you get, right? Ain't some time. I ain't got no more.
Right? Now listen, keep that circle. You're really good. The jab is working good.
You're right.
Right? And you close, throw your uppercuts in close. You see how they're working for you? Right. Keep your hands up there. Just keep him turning. Keep him turning.
See, you got your pace now. You got your pace, baby.
Okay.
Right?
Let's take a look at the jab that Whitaker's using, a double jab, effectively to keep Chavez off balance. And look at the work he does on him, holding on, spinning him.
Well, here you see that jab eventually gets in Chavez's way and sets up combinations where he can work off him. The jab is keeping him a little bit at bay, a little confusing, and Chavez is Whitaker's being reasonably effective with it.
Well, that's why Georgie Benton just told him your jab is working good, Pete. Don't abandon that jab. Jab and move around it. And certainly that was the formula. If he could do that.
Well, that's certainly the most we've seen Chavez tested in round number 3. Keep the punches up, says Joe Cortez to Pernell Whitaker.
There was a low blow there, and Pernell looked at the referee as if asking for a little help, and the referee stopped and gave them both a warning.
And now brawling tactics, brawling and mauling by Pernell Whitaker. Hand and foot speed. Doing the job, and now the crowd booing lustily. Pernell Whitaker putting his arms around Joe Cortez.
He pushed him. And
he pushed him out of the way.
You don't touch a referee. That's one thing you don't do in boxing. Don't touch the referee.
That's a good way to get a point taken.
With a very long blow on the thigh.
Now that shot was to the hip and the thigh. Now you see, that's nice, but when it starts to slow you up, those shots start to work on your tendons and your ligaments. What do you do then? You can't apologize, so that's going to cut his mobility.
Now look what happened. Sweet Pea is chasing Chavez backwards.
Yeah.
This is something I don't totally understand.
But Chavez unloading. Got him in the midsection.
Chavez spun him around. That's all that was about.
Interesting that Chavez has had to resort to being a bit of a counterpuncher, even though he's being the aggressor most of the time.
As Chavez showing quickness.
Chavez showing some boxing instead of coming forward, and Pee-wee's taking the offensive. Nice right hand. Nice right hand by Pee-wee.
Oh, and a left to the belly by Pernell Whitaker.
Oh, look at that blocking move. Was that out of a football field or something?
It looked like a cross forearm.
You see, so now Sweet Pea turns and takes another shot to the hips. I wonder how many of those shots can take before locomotion is going to start to be effective. He is not going to be able to walk around this way.
He may swell his thighs up with that.
Well, Joe Frazier certainly did to Ali in his fights.
Less than 30 seconds in round 4. Another effective round for Sweet Pea Whitaker. seconds of the fourth. Again, hitting on the break at the bell. Chavez being talked to by Cortez.
Now you're boxing. Now you're boxing out there. That's the way you have to do. That's all.
How you doing every day? How you feeling? Now look, just continue to do what you're doing. Don't get it nothing. Get another minute. Keep that circle going for you. Keep that lever and keep that right jab working.
Hey, the thing's broke. I can't use it.
When you get on the inside, I want to see them uppercuts working for you. You got
I hope it's here on this.
Now you're doing a hell of a job there. The jab is the one that's going to keep it in check. When you ain't doing nothing else, I want you to jab. Right? Now listen. You see what I'm doing?
You don't like
Skilling
it.
it. Skilling it.
Maybe snap that jab like a
Well, they're satisfied in Whitaker's corner, but I would love to hear what they're saying in Chavez, because he's blown those last 2 rounds, and now this fight's even.
And Chavez, very much aware of that, comes out storming to begin round 5.
4 or 5 straight body shots, and they seem to be very effective.
And very strong.
And now Whitaker very much in a defensive posture as he backs off on Chavez, who comes forward relentlessly. But back comes Whitaker with a combination to the head.
I think a lot of things that are going to be important with regard to the judges. How do they judge the big body shots and the little quick combinations of flicking right jabs and left hands that Whitaker throws? There are points, but how do they score them?
Chavez concerned with the judges before the fight. One is from Texas. The other 2 are England and Switzerland.
And in England, they love this kind of boxing that Whitaker does. They love intelligent boxing and punching, even if it's powder puff. But there's nothing powder puff about Whitaker. Whitaker's putting in shots here. Forget about it. He's putting in as much hurt as he's taken. Whitaker's fighting a fine fight against Chavez.
Thus far, a very impressive start by the champion, Pernell Sweet Pea Whitaker. A crowd of better than 63,000 here at the Alamo Dome in San Antonio, Chavez country. They are waiting for Chavez to start pouring it on. But Whitaker has been too elusive to this point.
I'll tell you what, he's very aware that Whitaker, that is, of those body shots. He is dropping his hands to get him down near his rib cage every time they get close.
Pretty good poke there off the right hand by Chavez. That got Whitaker's attention.
It's a frustrating type of fight for Chavez, a man that likes to just fight and be a man's man, to be moved and worked around like this because he is being manipulated just a bit from time to time.
He's doing much better this round than he did the last 2, in which Whitaker even took the offensive.
Chavez said before the fight he would not be like a wild man and chase the dancing southpaw. Whitaker just came through with a nice flurry of uppercuts, but he is resigned to the fact that he's got to. Chavez has been chasing him around.
Some of those uppercuts are what they call a shoe shine. They just throw them real quick and flashy, and they're for more of a visual effect than they are to be effective. But that right hook and left hand, they were meant to be effective.
Piece of gauze coming off of Chavez is going to cause him to stop this in a second, because that can flick in an eye and hurt you. There it is.
With 11 seconds, now 10 remaining in the 5th round, Joe Cortez does stop it momentarily. Whitaker looking very fresh over there, and Chavez leaning on the ropes, looking to get some air, some wind.
I wonder when they're going to stop putting surgical tape on gloves and put electrical tape that never bounces off. Enough already of this stuff. Chavez winning this round up to this point. Only had 11 seconds to go. Got a little breath of fresh air here. And so did Sweet Pea.
Yes, both of them.
Nice exchange there for ending the round.
Better than 63,000. We were notified by Jimmy Lennon Jr. before that that's an indoor record, but we have been told that Ali Spink still holds up, but not by much. Jimmy was awfully close. But you never know. A couple of stragglers can come into here in the next few minutes and they break the record.
You never can tell.
Ahí es donde le vas a... Él se está quedando ya un poquito.
Sácate ahí tú la mejor.
Vamos. Muy bien. Agarra un poquito más de aire. Eso. Venga.
Here's that little bit at the end of the round, which really didn't mean much because Chavez at this point had already won the round pretty big. He didn't need to go any further with this. Just a little shoe shining there, nothing much.
Yeah, Purnell's doing what he's supposed to be doing, but Chavez right now a little more effective for that round. Let's see if he can keep it up.
And his
Purnell
corner
can come back.
His corner is telling him, Bobby, all right, now you're starting to work on the body. Now step up the body attack.
Round 6 scheduled for 12. The WBC Welterweight Championship, the fight. But more importantly, the right to be called the best pound for pound of the world. What was that? What would you call that?
Well, he squatted down. He took a shot at what he thought would be his ribs when he got up, and he hit his butt instead. All of those things are going over the hip joint. That hip joint starts to swell, as it did when, as I said, in the Ali Frazier fight, and you cut your mobility. And he's hitting him a lot in the hip.
Whitaker almost actually sat on his heels. He was so low. His rear end barely off the ground.
A buttocks shot by Chavez. Now to the head and body goes Whitaker.
You know, Bobby, if he slipped on that and he touched the canvas, they could have counted to him.
Oh, sure.
That's dangerous.
The chance of Chavez.
Good
low
shots.
blow.
But good shots by another low blow by Whitaker.
Joe Cortez was behind it. We saw it.
Both men working hard inside.
Vicious.
Hard inside.
Vicious, intense infighting.
There is a rule we have in the gym. If a fighter hits you low more than once, you better get 1 or 2 back.
Chavez not getting any big clear shots at Whitaker. He's doing a masterful job of defense. Here's Whitaker, frustrating and absolutely staying away from harm's way.
And then landing with the left hand. Whitaker.
Another one.
Whitaker really fighting a nice fight.
The middle round chess match is upon us.
Again on the hip.
Same spot just about.
Boy, these hip shots are going to mount up.
The low blow by Whitaker.
That was an incredible shot. He thrust the left uppercut dead on the money, or I should say under the money.
South of the border. Apropos
for where he lives.
The thing is, they both threw body shots. We'll see that on replay. And they both landed south of the border. But Whitaker's was much harder, and it was centrally located. It was the perfect disabling shot. Now that remains to be seen what that's going to take out of him, out of Chavez in the next 2 rounds, because even if you start off, you ain't the same guy for a while.
And Joe Cortez will give Chavez as much time as he wants to recover. Julio says, okay. We continue round 6. Let's see how this affects Chavez. Oh, again.
Another one. Right back.
That's 2.
That was not back. Central. That was somewhere near Culiacan. But Chavez getting infuriated, and he lands
right in.
He connected to the face of Whitaker. Whitaker backpedaling and shooting out jabs. But the on-rushing Chavez not giving up.
Here comes that cat and mouse game again in the corner.
Final seconds, round 6.
A little after the bell work.
Vamos a ver, Julio, vamos a controlarnos un poquito más, ¿eh?
Se te sale mucho para el lado del gancho izquierdo, agárralo por el gancho izquierdo.
¿Nunca la has agarrado todavía?
Por fuera, para este lado se te sale.
Trátalo ahí. Esa mano la lleva protegiendo hacia abajo. Y cuando corra, no te pares tú, porque es cuando le puedes tirar, que no te tira. Tírate tirándole golpes, no te quedes parado. Ahí es donde le puedes meter la mano porque no está tirando. Vivo, carnal.
Guys, keep your eyes on the screen. Watch his first low blow. Watch Whitaker's hands now as he throws it right there. Now that, Bobby, body is a low blow.
That was dead center.
That was
dead center low.
As bad as you can get. And
Right
here's
after
the second
that,
one.
yeah,
Again.
right back. I mean, almost the exact same punch.
Off a foul-plagued 6th round, we begin round 7. Low blow extravaganza by Whitaker, and then hitting after the bell.
Again. Now Chavez was told in the corner, every time you stop fighting, you give this guy some chance. Keep punching as you've done all along. Don't stop punching on the guy. Keep coming on.
Whitaker has never had a knockout past the 7th round. Let's see what happens. It has been an impressive performance, though, by the champion, Pernell Whitaker, here in Chavez country. Whitaker nearly picked up at the hip. They continue to go at it. Joe Cortez has continued.
Joe Cortez is losing control of this.
Furious action, but a lot of missing.
I'll tell you something that I've done to fighters that bend that low. I hit them on top of the head, right in the top of the cranium. It's not an illegal shot, and it hurts like hell.
It's hard to penetrate the cranium of Julio Cesar Chavez, who has an abnormally thick one. I think Pernell Whitaker is discovering that.
Pernell Whitaker has been getting in some tough shots here. Tough shots on Chavez.
Working very effectively on the inside.
And it's a good thing he hadn't got a big punch, because if he had a big punch like Norris has, that would have been bad news for Chavez. He got hit and got his clock clean there.
Chavez landing as Whitaker tried to get away.
Another low blow.
Well, I don't think this fight will ever end in a disqualification, but he's certainly building a heck of a case.
According to the WBC Constitution, after 2 warnings, the referee can start to deduct points in terms of a low blow foul rule.
Well, the warnings have been issued.
Points will be deducted gingerly.
Something I think Chavez is doing that is actually a mistake is he's squaring up, making himself a bigger target because he's so frustrated. He's almost walking after Whitaker, and his right foot comes up, and he loses his own good, solid balance.
Oh, left hook there by Whitaker. Excellent shot.
Whitaker is winning the generalship here because he's making Chavez fight the fight that he wants.
He is dictating the tempo.
And he's frustrating Chavez to death.
A crunching left, clubbing left there by Whitaker, and then he goes to the belt.
I'll tell you what, right now, things don't look good for Chavez.
No.
Whitaker's getting too much steam going, and he's going to pull this fight to even in a matter of moments.
And that is it for round 7.
Oiga, Julio, está aguantando mucho, carajo. ¿Qué espera para abrir?
Estás dejando lo que él hacer la pelea, Julio. Hiciste tú primero.
Vamos, no esperes tanto. ¿Qué coño está esperando? Péguenlo donde sea, pero péguenlo. Coño.
Está esperando demasiado.
All right, let's take a look at Whitaker. Look at that shot right in there. And it wasn't just one, it was many of those right-handed shots. Let's take another look, Bob.
You watch it again. Whitaker's being sharp, using the jab, boom, right on the button. And he's using that little pity pat stuff. Chavez should not allow him to be so flustered by that.
Boy, if he could punch, Bobby, when something lands like that after 3 jabs, that hurts. If he could punch.
But then they wouldn't be so quick.
Yeah, you're right.
You're boxing beautiful.
That's the most concern on the face of Julio Cesar Chavez we have ever seen as he comes out for round 8.
I saw something not only in the last round, but I saw him on the stool. He's never stayed on the stool that long.
That's it.
Ever.
And usually he stands, but that was because of a bad back. Left hand there got in by Whitaker. Chavez continues to be frustrated by the champion.
Chavez has missed so much that his punches no longer have that speed and reflex that he had before. He is being out-generaled by Whitaker, and it's showing on the face of Chavez the first time in his life that he hadn't been able to figure a guy out.
Chavez, who normally is stronger as the round goes on, is actually appearing to be a little weaker here. And as this is happening, Whitaker's taking a little more control, getting a little more accurate, and I'm carving a place under the ring where I can hide when the decision comes down.
A very worried crowd here at the Alamo Dome in San Antonio.
Well, right now this fight is just about dead even. I've got Chavez ahead by 1 because those early rounds appeared to be Chavez chasing, but Whitaker has gotten himself back into this fight, and I would be surprised if the judge from Texas doesn't have him ahead. I'll be surprised about that.
The other judges, England and Switzerland. Chavez now continues to come forward, but he is getting belted off of uppercuts by Whitaker. All headshots.
Whitaker has come on and is beginning to just control the action.
Here's something to throw into the pie. Does Whitaker at 147 fight Terry Norris?
Well, Norris said to us yesterday he'd come down to 147 tomorrow to fight Chavez, but that might change. Who knows after tonight?
Oh, another shot. I would say let's wait till the 12th round.
Yes.
This is a long fight, and we got a long neck. Beautiful body shot. Beautiful body shot by Whitaker.
Oh, another
blow there.
blow. I'll tell you.
Oh, Whitaker landing to the head of Chavez. A clean shot. Flush on the face. Chavez stopped dead in his tracks.
Whitaker is just pummeling Chavez, something I thought we'd never see.
I'm glad we're not in Azteca Stadium.
Yeah.
Whitaker continues to have his way with the seemingly invincible Julio Cesar Chavez, undefeated, 87-0. Whitaker oozing with confidence.
His hand speed is beginning to tell, and what's happening is what happened in the Meldrick Taylor fight, which was that he went so far behind he needed a big finish, and that's what's happening to him again.
Will Chavez require another Meldrick Taylor-like finish to pull this one out as we head for the bell?
Listen, how you feel? Give me the same round. Keep him turning and keep giving him them combinations. You got to be covered. Now you made a hell of a stand. Just keep making the stands like that. You understand? When punches come your way, just go with the punch. You understand? Go the same way the punch is going the other way. Punch going with you. Now you got it covered. See, now this guy's getting...
Let's take a good look at the tremendous job Whitaker is doing. A body shot, another shot to the face, and away he goes. A more punching, and away he goes. Boy, he is fighting just like Meldrick Taylor.
You know, later in the round, he's doing the same thing. He's actually taking it to Chavez at certain points, pushing him back, pushing him into the ropes, and he's digging, and he's using the uppercuts up on the inside underneath. Very effective.
Well, Chavez is going to have to win around in here someplace to start getting back into this fight, or else he's going to be in a losing causeway.
Chavez being urged on in the last second by Jose Buffalo Martin as we begin round 9. When was the last time you actually uttered those words, Ferdy?
Yeah.
Chavez could be in a losing cause. That's because Pernell Whitaker has been near flawless here in the middle rounds. It's round 9, as I said.
The early rounds were back and forth, back and forth. The last 2 rounds, all Sweet Pea Whitaker.
And really, Sweet Pea Whitaker. I mean, there was no doubt about that.
Convincingly, Sweet Pea Whitaker. And to this point, this crowd bordering on disbelief. Right hand by Chavez.
A little bit of wobble in Pee-wee's legs just now, but he's fighting back.
He's trying to just get the motor started here and let loose with a flurry to get back in.
I can't believe I'm going to make the next statement that I'm going to make, but Chavez left not only his game plan, but was so anxious to come in here and prove how much condition he was in, how he was going to chase him. He's throwing all caution to the wind and abandoning any defense whatsoever.
Yeah, he has just forgotten about defense. He's letting his head, his emotion dominate, and he's not fighting an intelligent fight.
He just tagged Whitaker with the right hand. Whitaker with a wild miss. Is this a turning point here in round 9?
Whitaker returned the favor and hit him in his backside.
And the crowd reacts.
Whitaker's got this round in his hands if he just starts to throw more punches like that.
Again, Whitaker answering back off the body shots by Chavez.
It's a much better round for Chavez than the last couple, though. This is a round that's close and could go right down. There you see him chasing him, landing some clean right hands, some terrific body shots. And Pee Wee slowed up a little bit, but hey, it's been a tremendous past couple of rounds for him. He needs a break from time to time as well.
And I think that's what we're looking at. He's taking a break here because he couldn't keep that steam going that he did before. Nice little punch by Pee Wee, by Sweet Pea, I'm sorry.
That snapped Chavez's head back. Again, stamina could become an issue. A flurry by Chavez, but not much damage. Whitaker with a right hand. Now a left by Whitaker. Continues to be effective.
Another statement that I've never uttered before. I think Chavez is tired.
Fatigue looks to be taking its toll.
Again, the strap.
Oh, left hand. Crisp left hook there by Whitaker that connected.
And how do you score that? 2 or 3 blistering body shots and then a counter punch.
Wild finish to round 9.
Echarle agua por la cabeza. Agua por la cabeza. Respíralo. Eso. Un poco aquí abajo.
Acércate mejor, no te quedes a tirar. Tú ahí sales ganando.
And they're telling him, you're winning. That's the kind of round we need. You can't stop fighting and let this guy get off. The guy is tired now. Come on now, we're going to win this.
Está muerto el tipo, está muerto, está dándote las últimas. Tienes que abrir cuando él termine.
He's dead. He's shot his bolt in those 2 fights. Come on these last 2 rounds. You took that one. Give us this one.
Dale que veamos. Dale que veamos.
The sense of urgency in the corner of Julio Cesar Chavez, looking to bolt off the stool and get back into it. We hit double figures. Round 10. Pernell Sweet Pete Whitaker, for the most part, has had his way.
Sweet Pea starting fast in this round. He seems to sense that he lost that last one.
A good case can be made for both fighters, but I think Chavez was just a little bit more effective. And once again, we see crisp counter punches from Pee Wee. Excuse me.
Because, as you point out, there is no defense or even a pretense of defense on the part of Chavez. He's coming in, he's willing to take the shot to land his.
See, Freddie, now you got me saying Pee Wee. I'm doing it too.
You say, well, he is small, you know. I used to call him Pee Wee when he was in the Olympics. He changed it to Sweet Pea.
Looks bigger than life right now in the face of Julio Cesar Chavez.
Bobby, you may be right. Tired, fatigued on the part of Chavez. He's not throwing. You see the times that he had the opportunity to throw something, and he didn't throw any.
Not only that, but he's missing opportunities. When Pee Wee just squats there and bends over, hit him on top of the head, it's legal.
Hit him anywhere, but he's not throwing a punch.
And Whitaker showing his strength just a second ago, just bowling Chavez back. There's a left hand, a quick left. Snapping shots by Whitaker, again penetrating.
And let's reiterate ring generalship, and that's the point. And that Whitaker is taking command completely. It's his ring generalship that's dictating the pace of this fight. It's not in the hands of Chavez.
Well, I'll tell you what, we've built this fight up. The hype has not been let down. The fight is every bit of it, but Sweet Pea is making a little bit of a stinker out of it for the Chavez fans.
Well, you haven't heard this place rocking in a while. That last round was the first big ovation that he got. See, he's tentative. Chavez is not throwing. He's not leading. He's waiting for the other guy to get off. And that big cry comes from his corner, you first. You first. He's
Even
not
after
being...
giving him the last round, I still have Chavez behind. He's got his work cut out for him. There's only 3 rounds left. He may need another Meldrick Taylor-like finish.
Slapping shots by Whitaker. And they're getting through to the face of Chavez. Less than 30 seconds in the 10th.
I wonder what the odds in Vegas were on the draw, because I'd hate to have to get out of here with Sweet Pea winning the decision.
At last check, they were approaching 3-1 in favor of Chavez.
Outspeeding him. Whitaker outspeeding Chavez. 3-4 punches to 1. Chavez depending on the one big one, but is not bothering Whitaker.
Well, in the outset, we thought that Chavez would somewhere along the way try to hammer Whitaker. The hammer is on the other foot.
Or hand, as the case may be.
Or on the hand, as the case may be.
Punching the 2 rounds is like you did just there. Don't let the guy steal these 2 rounds. You understand? I don't give a damn what happened. Do not let this guy steal these 2 rounds. Now, you can judge when you're losing. But you're doing all right. Now, out hustle this guy. Just keep your hands moving. Keep the jab going, and when you get close, move your hands.
Vamos a poner ahí todo el alma, Julio. Venga, vamos a ganarle. Vamos a ganarle. Vamos a poner desde ahora todo hasta que acabe la pelea. Venga ahí. Cambia golpes ahí.
Now they're telling him, don't let this guy win these last 2 rounds. You got to get all out. You need these 2 rounds. We can blow this thing. The same thing is being told to Whitaker on the other side. Don't let him take these 2 rounds. I got it dead even, and I think Whitaker possibly has an edge because of his brilliant ring generalship and ability to dictate the pace of this fight so far.
I still have Whitaker with a slight edge, and here we come down the wire, championship rounds.
Round 11. Yes, the words of Georgie Benton in Whitaker's corner, don't let him steal these last 2 rounds. And the same thing being said over in Chavez's corner to set the stage for round 11. Little low blow there, but not too hard, fortunately for Whitaker.
Chavez is still bent on those body shots, and right now he should take any shot.
Well, he's being outpunched, doing 3 and 4 to 1.
And Chavez really looks tired. He looks worn out.
He can't throw it.
Another low blow.
And Whitaker goes upstairs then. Whitaker, the peppery Olympic captain of 1984, winner of a gold medal, winner of world titles as a pro, looking for the ultimate badge, the first man to beat Julio Cesar Chavez. Could it happen?
It looks like he's on the way because he is the one that has the look of the conqueror here. He's the one that looks like he's in command, and desperation is beginning to be written all over Chavez's face.
We've just been informed that the odds are 20 to 1 on a draw in Las Vegas. And wouldn't you like to be sitting on a decision either way?
Right above us, Julio Cesar Chavez nearly sitting on our table. Chavez leaning on Joe Cortez, looking for leverage.
Chavez is looking like desperation is upon him.
Another of boxing's adages, even the greatness can grow old in a day.
He went up to welterweight too, let's not forget that. And he's in with a great fighter in Whitaker.
31-year-old Julio Cesar Chavez probably never in his wildest dreams thought this would be the scenario at this stage of the fight.
Well, the answer is he didn't take the punishment that Meldrick Taylor did. He didn't start to fall apart. Meldrick was ahead by about 5 rounds when he fell apart, but nothing has happened to Whitaker. His defense has been so superb that he hasn't slowed down or it hasn't changed his game plan.
And the Meldrick Taylor fight Meldrick was actually considerably further ahead and sharper, but somewhere in between all that he absorbed an enormous amount of punishment, as you said, which just deteriorated him in the last 2 rounds. But that has not happened to Whitaker.
That did not happen at all to Whitaker. He looks nice and nice right hand. Left.
Whitaker with the left hand crisply.
Well, that's another one in the bank for Whitaker, and it's starting to look like the end of a long trail for Chavez.
Is this an end of an era? Round 11 is history.
Queda un round ahí, Julito, venga. Venga, échale con todo ahí. Échale con todo, Julio. El último, venga. Hay que morir ahí, Julio, arriba. Pero tienes que conectarle, no te tires arriba. Quédate en la distancia de los golpes. No te tires el cierre, mira la mano primero.
Even his son is talking to him in the corner. And look at the punishment that Whitaker inflicts here. He's in command. His punches are crisp, they're sharp. As as Chavez is flailing.
Something you'll see here too, when you're tired, even just a little sneaky quick stuff hurts, rocks, moves your head back. When you're tired, and Vince Lombardi said it best, fatigue makes cowards of us all. It also hurts like hell in a boxing game.
Here's the announcement for round number 12. We can't read the judges' minds, but it appears as if Julio Cesar Chavez may need a miracle finish here. 12th and final round.
I think he does. I don't think he could justify winning this fight.
Whitaker is holding on, and I think in his mind right now, he may be hearing signs of and replays from Meldrick Taylor's fight. Just last the last round.
Yeah, just hold on. Let the round pass.
Will it be deja vu? St. Patrick's Day 1990. Chavez and Taylor. 2 seconds to go. Chavez winning. Let's see what happens here.
Yeah. Miracles seldom happen twice in a row, and they certainly don't in boxing.
Chavez called that a gift from God. They'll need another one.
He didn't get another one. And there was another low blow complained about by Whitaker, but the referee said nothing.
Even God can only be so gracious, I suppose.
Well, he followed you, Victor. He tried to hit him on the top of the head.
Whitaker continues to impress. Chavez tries to spin him around, but to no avail. And they get caught between the ropes.
Precious seconds are flying. Whitaker is having his way. The ring generalship is clearly in his favor.
Good left hand by Whitaker. Whitaker not letting up.
A brilliant exhibition of ring generalship. He carried out the game plan of Georgie Benton and Lou Duva, and let us say that the gentleman is a great fighter tonight.
He is proving that against the seemingly invincible one, Julio Cesar Chavez, coming in undefeated in 87 fights.
If Chavez loses this fight, I predict he will retire.
Oh, he's got his own title to defend in December.
Yes, still the super lightweight champ. Blood on the nose of Chavez.
Damage on his face, something we are not accustomed to seeing.
Or he is either.
Less than a minute remaining in the 12th and final round. What a surprise here at the Alamo Dome. San Antonio. Pernell Whitaker may be on the threshold of being the first man to beat Julio Cesar Chavez.
The crowd is doing all but begging him to come forward and finish Whitaker. They sense a problem with the upset, and they know he needs a knockout. I certainly think he does.
Whitaker's left eye is now hurt.
There's 20 seconds. It's academic now. It would have to take a miracle.
Can Chavez knock out Whitaker in the final 10 seconds? Whitaker won't let him. Too elusive. History. It could be history in the making. Pernell Sweet Pea Whitaker fighting a near flawless fight. Brilliant ring generalship dictating the tempo from, Bobby, I'd say the middle rounds on to the very end.
Well, you know, right from the beginning, Pernell did not get into a slugfest, which is what Julio wanted, and he did what I said. He stepped around. He didn't run and back out after reset. He just pivoted, stepped off, recountered, something he had to do to be effective and win. And I'll tell you what, we got the judges now. They decide the future. They decide history right now.
Bobby Ches, the decision in the hands of these judges. Franz Marty out of Aarau, Switzerland. Mickey Vann from Leeds, England. And Jack Woodruff from Dallas, Texas. The Chavez camp not happy with that Texan judge coming into this fight, but they agreed to stay with it. Look at this. Pernell Whitaker exhausted emotionally and physically.
I think you just witnessed the best fight of his life, bar none.
so impressive was Pernell Sweet Pea Whitaker coming here into hostile environment. The crowd here, as we mentioned before, from about the 8th or 9th round on, was in disbelief. I think we can take it one step further right now. I think they are stunned. But now they're beginning to cheer. The decibel level, Bobby, gets louder. You think they could urge the judges on here with that? No.
The judges may just be just as afraid as we are of getting out of here alive. I just read Sweet Pea's lips. I'm doing it again, Ferdy. I'm gonna have to beat him up later. Sweet Pea, I just read his lips and he said, "Oh my God, no, they didn't rob me, did they?" And somebody shook his head and said no, and he seems to be calming. But just for an instant there, he looked very disturbed.
Yes, you never know. You never know. They certainly are taking their time, as in the first fight, Bobby, the Azuma Nelson, Jesse James Leija fight, which was ruled a draw after it was ruled a split decision victory for Azuma Nelson. Nelson did retain his title, but they switched it and then called it a draw. It's going to be interesting to see what transpires here.
Well, I certainly thought Azuma Nelson won the last couple of rounds and basically closed out the fight. Here I thought that Sweet Pea held on and boxed magnificently to hold off Chavez, but I'm not a judge that counts.
Well, Chavez on the verge of his possible first defeat as a pro, coming in 87-0 with 75 knockouts. He's awaiting the decision. Does summon up a smile there. Pernell Whitaker, much more pensive, 32-1, 15 knockouts coming into the fight. And I think we are finally ready for the decision. Let's go up to Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 12 rounds of boxing, here are the score totals. Judge at ringside, Jack Woodruff scores the bout 115 to 113 in favor of Whitaker. Judges at ringside, Mickey Van and Franz Marty. Both score the bout the same, 115 to 115, a draw. The decision is a majority decision draw.
A draw, and you can see the reaction of Sweet Pea Whitaker. He can't believe it, and frankly, I can't either.
I can't believe it, but then again, I can. In boxing, this type of thing happens, and what I say, I'd like to be the one in Vegas at 20-1 that had the draw.
Whitaker obviously thinking hometown decision. Meanwhile, Chavez doesn't lose, but it's his first blemish on his record. He goes to 87-0-1 now.
Maybe we'll see a rematch.
Yep, the bout has been declared a majority draw.
Well, you know, when you have a decision that's split, one goes to one judge says fighter A and then fighter B and then a draw. That's a split decision draw. When two judges give it to one guy, give it to I can't talk today. Two guys get together and call it a draw, and one gives it to any fighter. The one doesn't count. It's nullified by the two. It's a majority draw.
Jack Woodruff, the judge from Dallas, Texas, scored it for Whitaker, 115-113. Mickey Van of England, Franz Marty of Switzerland, 115-115. So it ends in a draw, and Pernell Whitaker remains the champion. Let's go up into the ring of the fight, Doctor.
Tabla, una decisión que no te puede gustar a ti ni a nadie.
Lo dijiste en español.
I'm sorry. A draw, something you can't possibly be satisfied with.
No, realmente no estoy satisfecho.
No, he's not really very satisfied.
Whitaker es un peleador difícil, lo dije.
Whitaker is a very difficult fighter.
Creo que esta vez no fue una gran noche para mí, pero
this time it wasn't one of his greatest nights.
Lo que estuvo de mi parte, forcé la pelea.
He tried to do the best part to force the fight.
Creo que gané la pelea porque pues
believes that he won the fight.
Él me sorprendió varias veces, pero era todo lo que me hacía.
Several times, but he was doing a lot of things.
Y aparte me estuvo golpeando mucho abajo.
He was hitting him with low blows.
Ocasionalmente.
Occasionally and very intentionally.
Bueno, la pelea era no sucia, pero muy rough. I'm sorry, the fight was very rough.
Sí, lo que pasa es que Whitaker pues no me presentó mucha pelea, él hizo su pelea.
Whitaker didn't present a very strong fight to him.
Bueno, creo que una revancha.
All right.
He wants a rematch.
All right, we're talking rematch, and obviously the dude was extremely upset. Don King, who has the power to make a rematch. What's your opinion?
I think it was a great fight. I kind of thought Julio had the edge because he was the one that was carrying the fight. Whitaker is a great fighter. There's no question about that. But he has a very awkward style to be able to fight with. But it wouldn't have been no fight if Julio didn't continue to try to press and fight. So I think it was a great fight to come out a draw. Let's go back to the table again and do it again.
All right. I must tell you that ring generalship of Whitaker was superior at the end. Tell him the ring generalship.
But the referee didn't take no points for all them low blows. He just kept warning and warning and warning and warning. But it was several low blows twice in one round, and he didn't take no point. I don't understand that.
Well, you want to translate that for Don King? No, I guess not. All right.
De todos modos, mañana llego a Culiacán a la 1 de la tarde.
He says he arrives in Culiacan tomorrow at 1 o'clock, that there is no problem here.
All right. And amidst all of this consolation, we go to Steve Albert at ringside in the relative peace and calm of ringside.
All right. Thank you, Ferdy. As great a career as Julio Cesar Chavez has had over the last close to 14 years, I really thought Pernell Whitaker won this fight tonight. They called it a majority draw, which is something you don't see very often, even in the sport of boxing, the wacky sport of boxing.
Yeah, it's an interesting decision. Certainly, I don't think it was a fair decision or the accurate decision, but nevertheless, it was the judges, the official judge's decision. I've seen majority decisions where one judge calls it a draw and two override him, 2 of 3 being the majority, and give it to a fighter, and it's called a majority decision.
Right, but not a majority draw, something we haven't seen in quite some time. It's a case of 2 judges, in this case Mickey Vann and Franz Marty, the 2 European judges, calling it a draw, 115-115, and the American judge from Dallas, Texas, Jack Woodruff, went in favor of Whitaker, 115-113.
I certainly think that the Texas judge was much more in line.
Yes, I agree. Meanwhile, the fans just standing around, milling around in disbelief here, witnessing history to some degree, some extent, in that Chavez did not win for the first time in 88 fights.
This certainly was, for everyone in Mexico and all of the Julio Cesar Chavez fans here, a historical day.
Now, wait a second, Bobby. After that Azuma Nelson, Jesse James Leija fight where they waited a few minutes and changed, maybe we should hang on for a few minutes and see if they change it again.
If they change this one again, I'm underneath the table.
Yes, in this case, I agree.
And in that fight, we had a split decision draw. 1 each fighter and a draw.
Yeah, another weird one.
I've only seen 1 unanimous draw in my entire life. All 3 judges said it's a draw.
So 2 out of the 3 co-features here end in controversy. Well, Pernell Sweet Pea Whitaker has apparently left the ring, and our Montel Williams here at the Alamo Dome in San Antonio, Texas, has scampered after Mr. Whitaker to try and get his reaction in the dressing room or near the dressing room. So we'll wait on that. Before we track down Montel, who's looking for Pernell Sweet Pea Whitaker, we are advised to go back to the fight doctor. Ferdy?
Well, an upset and extremely mad camp of Whitaker, not only mad for the draw, but for the fact that he, as a champion, was not interviewed. First refused an interview, saying the story is with Whitaker, and we did not interview him. First, he refused an interview. Understandably upset about the draw, understandably upset that he wasn't gotten to first. But in the mayhem that this ring is, you get who you can get at the time. And so we go back to Steve Albert, and possibly we will be able to get a calmer Danny Duva and Lou Duva in the dressing room with Whitaker later.
All right.
Back to Steve Albert at ringside.
Thanks very much, Ferdy. A lot of people thought that there would be dancing in the aisles and reveling by Julio Cesar Chavez, looking to realize his goals of capturing the welterweight title and remaining undefeated. But the WBC welterweight crown remains in the hands of Pernell Sweet Pea Whitaker, although it ended in controversy in a majority draw. So really, a wild finish here at the Alamo Dome in San Antonio, Texas. And Bobby, this is probably the last scenario we thought would be the case here in San Antonio. I don't think there's any question about that.
No, the sports writers throughout the country all had picks, and none of them were draws.
Right, most people were picking Julio Cesar Chavez to win either by decision or late via TKO, but here's Pernell Whitaker live in his dressing room, being hugged by members of his support team. He does retain the WBC Welterweight Championship, but does it via a majority draw. Ronnie Shields over there. There's Lou Duba, his mentor and guru. But I really feel that he fought a brilliant fight tonight.
No question about it. He did what he wanted to do. He did not let Chavez be Chavez-like. Did not let him dismantle him to the body. Chavez tried to go to the body, but Whitaker devised the perfect defense, and as I mentioned earlier, stepped around him and recountered. And that was key. He was more effective. Chavez just simply wasn't.
And can you imagine, I think somebody pointed out during the course of the broadcast, if Whitaker did possess a knockout punch, what he could have pulled off tonight?
Well, it's a combination of things. If he had that punch, would he have that speed to always get there first? And the two put together, who knows? If he had punch and that speed, Chavez may very well have not finished him.
Well, let's try to pick the brain of Julio Cesar Chavez. You're a fighter. What do you think is going through his mind right now after winning 87 consecutive fights, nearly 14 years without ever having been defeated? All of a sudden here tonight, it's a draw, but he didn't win.
Well, I'll tell you, he's got to be really rethinking his entire being down in Mexico. He may invariably retire. That's how bad the performance was, and he's too proud.
All right, Montel Williams has been able to get into the dressing room. Montel?
Hey, Steve, I'll tell you, I'm here with Sweet Pea Whitaker. Sweet Pea, you did it. He was hitting you low. I don't know what's going on. Tell me what happened.
Well, obviously, we knew going into it that he was going to be doing the hitting on the legs. So, you know, I just didn't let it distract me any. You know, I just went with the game plan, the uppercuts, the body shots, and we see now who was the attacker. You know,
this is almost like the second time that you've been ripped off, in a sense.
Right? Like I said before, you know, that's why I'm glad we got TV and we got millions of viewers watching this one, so the public could really decide it. Okay. I knew we weren't going to need any judges.
In the Ramirez fight, you got ripped off. You had to come back and avenge it. Do you want to try again to avenge this? This is, well, you know, this is like a loss.
No, it's not. You know,
loss for him, not for us.
It's a win for me because the public gets to decide it. When we take the poll, you take a poll on your next show, and you'll see the ones that say he won and the ones who say who lost. But 9 times out of 10, you know, I'm just going to enjoy this one because the people know who the winner is.
We got a pound-per-pound best in the world draw. What do you say about that? To get the draw, well, what do you say about pound for pound? Who is the best?
I feel like Evander did in the Olympics. You know, this was an Olympics victory for us. I feel like Evander did getting ripped off for the gold, like I got ripped off for this gold. You know, but we all, like we did, we got blood and guts. We come back, we get it back.
Lou, we're going to come back one more time?
Well, I don't know yet. I'll see my son Danny, see what he says about it. Right now, understand one thing. He is still the champion of the world. Chavez did not beat him. He beat Chavez. He got the draw. He should have got the win, so they gave him a draw. But you know, it's a funny thing, Montel. This always happens with the WBC, with Suleiman and King. It always happens that way.
All right, well, I'm going to go back to you, Steve. Back to you, Steve.